Yeah, for sure. So let me know if you guys have any questions throughout. So just kind of how we're gonna go through it today. I'm gonna give you all each a couple minutes to kind of, we'll read through it together. And then from there, I'll give you a couple minutes to set up your own game board. And then from there, if you have any questions or any troubles or are finished, we can kind of go through how to set it up. And then we'll go through the questions individually. I'll give you all a couple minutes to do each question. And after that, we'll come back together and do it together. Does that sound good for everybody?
I'm sorry, is this the one about the railway company?
No, this is about the Odowski Advertising Agency. Are you on section? It's section 1 as well. That helps.
Oh, it's section 1. Okay.
Sorry,
I
yeah.
was looking.
We'll do the first section because the last one changes sometimes. So
Oh, okay. I think I might be looking at the wrong test. Forgive me. I'll go re-download.
you're good. You're good. No rush. But so I'll kind of read through it real quick and then just kind of get started. So the advertising agency has exactly 7 representatives: F, J, L, M, P, Q, S. Its new campaign is presented to exactly one client by one or more of the representatives in accordance with the following conditions. If F presents, then so do M and P. If J presents, then Q does not. If Q does not present, then P does. If L presents, then either J, S, or both present. And if both L and S present, then M does not. So this one's kind of a mouthful as far as like rules, and as always if then statements. So what I would do is I would set up my game board. I'd put pieces at the top and I go in or out because it's a grouping game and go from there. So I'm gonna give you a couple minutes. Let me know when you finish your diagram. I know, Thomas, you're getting warmed up, right? You're getting everything set up. So if you're behind, no worries. We'll kind of like go off Sabrina and then go from there. And also because you first started, it might be good to kind of show you the process too. So Sabrina, go ahead and draw a diagram and go from there.
Right. I actually haven't gotten around yet to learning how to do the grouping questions. So I think I might. Yeah.
All right, Sabrina, you try your hardest, Thomas. That from there we can kind of, we'll wait for Sabrina to be done and then we'll go through ourselves.
Okay, I tried to do my best with the in and out diagram.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So I'll kind of share my screen and go through how I set it up, and we'll go through kind of what I would do because it is a little different. Normally our grouping games have been a little more advanced, but this one can be good. So what I do is I first start for every game, right? I come up here to the top and I put my game pieces here. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. So I have my game pieces up here, right? F, J, L, M, P, Q, S. Those are the general pieces I use, right? Those are the pieces where I put in my game. And then from there, I have, because I know it's saying, okay, we have one presenter, right? One presenter, when they have one client, when they have one client, and any number of people can present, but not necessarily everybody presents, because obviously we know if somebody's in, somebody has to be out, right? So the first thing I do is I draw, okay, in are the presenters, out are the non-presenters, right? I don't really put how many lines I have because it's not necessarily like 4 have to be in, 4 have to be, or 3 have to be out, you know? So I think what this means is like you kind of want to make it, this is kind of a limited diagram, and really there's not many deductions to make in this diagram, right? So let's kind of move on to the rules from here. So let's say, so for the rule number 1, right? It says if F is in, also Thomas, I just refer to the first capital letters because it's easier. If F is in, then M and P are also in. So we know anytime F is in, M and P are also in, right? So if we see F in the inside, we know M and P at least has to be inside, right?
Yes.
Okay. So does that make sense, Thomas?
Yes, absolutely.
Number 2, if J is in, then Q is out, right? That's what number 2 is saying. Number 3 is saying if Q is out, then P has to be in. And 4, if L is in, J or S or both are in. And number 5 is saying if L and S are in, if both L and S need to be in for M to be out. So we know if L, so kind of looking at this, right, and looking at setup, okay. L is in, J or S or both have to be in, okay. I know F and L could probably never be alone in, right? That makes sense. Just looking at that, like just what I like to do is get a sense of the rules and what questions they might ask me. And I see if L plus S are in, M is out. So I then know F has to be out then, right? Does that make sense how I did that real quick? I don't need to comment on it, like put anything in my diagram about it, but does that make sense how I got there?
Yeah.
Because if M's out, then F has to be out. Because if F's in, M would have to be in, and yeah. So cool. Sounds like you guys kind of understand the setup. Do you have any questions with the setup, Thomas or Sabrina?
No, if anything, it's a lot more simpler because I feel like I try to, like, I don't know, I don't put it as simple as I could when I put the diagram.
Sorry, could you repeat the very last point that you made? I was sort of copying what you had and I missed it.
Yeah, no. So I was saying, so because we see if L and S is in, right? And we know M has to be out, we then know if L and S are in, F also has to be out, right? Is that okay?
Right.
So just kind of, I like to kind of play with the rules a little bit, not spend too much time on that, but just what I'm doing while I'm writing the rules, especially with these grouping games. A lot of them are kind of like, they're not like chain rules like in the other ones, but they're more ones you see, okay, in, out, this is in, this is be out, but those two are tied together, so they both have to be out, if that makes sense. So, all right, you guys have an understanding of kind of our diagram? And do you feel
Yeah.
comfortable with it? Cool. All right. Let's move on to the first question then. So what I like to do is I give you guys time, do the question and then go from there, right? So after you guys finish the question, let me know. We'll kind of go over it together when we both finish. So this question says, which one of the following could be a complete and accurate list of the representatives who present? So just kind of a tip for this one. This is one where you should bring the rules to the game, right? So I would go to the first rule and say if F presents, and so do M and P. So I go through the answer choices and see, okay, is there an F in here? And then look at, is there an M and P also there? If there's not, eliminate that answer, right? So I'll give you all a couple minutes to come up with an answer and then we'll discuss. Let me know when you guys have an answer.
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling with this one, like applying it, because I'm not sure if, because these kind of confuse me in a way where I want them all to be in. So all the ones that are already in, that would be the answer. Like what on the rules, regarding the rules. So I just assume that, oh, like F is in, and so M and P are in, and J, like, I'm not sure how to go about this.
Yeah, for sure. Thomas, are you having a similar issue or do you think you found an answer too?
I regrettably I'm still like kind
Okay.
of for the test, the PDF. I should really get Law Hub.
I really do recommend Law Hub as far as practice goes. I will say that. But so, okay. So the first one we have, right, is so what I do here, I look at rule 1, right? So if F presents, then so do M and P. I'm not doing any diagramming for this question, just so you guys know. So if F presents, then so do M and P. So I'm going to the rules and saying, okay, which of these have F, which of these answer choices have F in them, right? So let's see, okay, A doesn't, B does, right? So
Yeah.
F is presenting, but there's no P there, right?
Mhm.
So I can eliminate that one, right?
Yeah.
And I go through the rest and see none of them have F and violate this rule, right? So we eliminated B with rule 1, right? Now we
Yeah.
go to rule 2. If J presents, then Q does not, right? So now I'm looking for any of them that have J in them, right?
Oh, okay.
So now I see the last one has J in them. And I eliminate that one because it also has Q in them. And we know if J is in, then P and Q is not, right?
Yeah.
So that rule eliminates E. Now I'm going to now I'm between A, C, and D, right? I go to rule 3. If Q does not present, then P does. So we see in A that Q is not presenting here, but neither is P, and that's not allowed either, right?
Yeah.
So we eliminate A. And we look at the other ones to see, okay, if Q does not present, we're between C and D, right? If Q does not present, then P does. So we see, okay, C is good, right? And so is D. Next, we see if L presents, then either J, S, or both present, right?
And there's no
We
J
see-
or S for C.
Yep, exactly. So we eliminate that one, and we have D as our correct answer.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's because I haven't looked at this since like last week because there was just so much going on. I totally forgot how to approach it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to do. I was trying to like make the rules. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Fair. Thomas, do you see kind of how we did that one, or no? Is it hard with the PDF?
I don't actually have the answer choices in front of me because I'm not finding the PDF, but I see what you did. Basically, you looked at the answers and by process of elimination, you found the possible ones since all the other ones sort of didn't follow these axioms.
Yep. So you don't have the answer choices, right, for any of them?
No, unfortunately not.
But do you have the material? Do you have like the stimulus and the questions?
I don't have those either.
So you don't have anything.
No, I don't have anything.
All right, give me 1 sec. So, I'm pretty sure it's okay as far as like if it's your first class, I can kind of share my screen during those. We won't be doing like we'll go to the next question, right? And I'll let you look at I'll share my screen and share that. We just won't record it if that makes sense. So that'll be taken off the recording.
Okay, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, I would recommend getting Law Hub. I would totally. Let's go to number 2. I'll share my do you guys have my diagram copied down?
Yes.
Yes.
So something I do with this first question too is when I know that one works, I immediately put it in my diagram as one that I know, kind of like a thing I know works, so that I can use it to answer later questions if need be, right? So now I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna go to the next question. I'm gonna give you all a couple minutes to see it, and then from there, we will kind of let you guys go. We'll come back and work on it. Okay. So can you all see my diagram again?
Yes.
So also something I do, I don't know if this is a tip for Thomas, I know I've told Sabrina this before, but instead of doing like where like I make a new diagram for every single one, right? I can kind of actually just move down this one, right? I copied and pasted over here because it's easier for me on the whiteboard, but so number 1 was, let's see, is this first one was number 17, right? So I write 17 next to it. Then I'd move down to 18 right here. Does that make sense, Thomas?
Yes.
It keeps me very organized and kind of lets me know which direction I'm going to go and know what worked before previously, right? So if I do that, it kind of shows me which ways work, which ways don't, like other good examples, right? So this first one we have is, so let's pull it up. So this one's saying if L and Q both present, which one of the following could be true? So let's put L and Q in here, right? So I put L and Q in, right?
Mhm.
I then know J is out, right?
Yeah, because if it was in, then Q wouldn't be there.
Yep. So we immediately know J is out as well, right? Let's see. L is in.
And M and P as well because of Q,
How do you
since they
figure?
go together, right?
How do M and P go together with Q?
Because like if Q is out, that means P is in, and wouldn't M and P are always together? And the first rule?
M and P aren't always together. That's not. It's just saying if F is in, P and M and P have to be in. And also because Q is out, doesn't mean P could still be in. It's the rule only applies if Q is out.
Oh, okay.
But we can still have Q and P in, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
We just can't have Q and P out. That makes sense, or is that confusing?
I mean, how I got the answer. I mean, I got this one right.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what I was thinking that part. I don't know how I got it right then. Because I was thinking, I thought the M and P went together, so I put them both out.
Yep. So I know. So let's do this, guys, right? So I know L is in, right?
Yeah.
So I know this Q forces the J out, right?
Yes.
So I know according to rule 4, S has to be in,
Yes.
right? And then I know if L and S are both in, M is out.
Oh yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah. Totally forgot about that rule.
If M is out, then F is out, not P.
Okay. I think I just got the variables mixed up. I
Yeah,
still got
fair.
the right answer. Like I put like exactly
Yeah.
3 of the 7, but I just
Yep.
got the variables mixed up right here.
Yep. And now you can put either. Now you can put either. P could be either in or out, right? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's exactly 3. So exactly 3 is an option. We see why F, J, and M all can't present, right? And why there has to be at least 3%, right? So we see the answer is E. Does that make sense how we got there, Thomas?
Yes, I understood that. I mean, I don't really have the instincts quite yet to do
Of course.
this kind of reasoning really quickly, but I saw what you did.
Yeah, at the beginning, it's more just accuracy, and it's time. So once you get accurate and kind of do the processes and kind of recognize these little things they do, then it really makes it easy. But all right. Do you have any questions about this question?
No.
I think I understood.
Okay. If you have any questions anytime too, let me know. But let's move on to the next one. I'll share my screen. I'll stop my share, then I'll go to that next one. Number 19. So you see what I'm saying there? Look, I'm looking for ones that where only one thing can be in, right?
Mhm.
So I'm looking for ones where only one thing can be in. If I know if Q is out, P has to be in. Well, I know there's no other option besides Q, right? Q or P, right? Does that make sense?
I mean about the rule, yeah.
Just in general, we know that because this rule is asking which one of the so which one. It's like we know F and L can't be in. We know if J is in, right? Q has to be out. But then
Okay.
P has to be in, right? Because
Yeah.
Q is out. So that doesn't work. And same thing with S, right? If it's only S in, then Q automatically has to be out because we're implying that S is only in. Then P would have to be in too because Q is out.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
the only 2 options would be these 2. And we only have one of them as options here. So D is the correct answer.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know how to approach it.
Yeah,
And
of
I
course.
just saw like, for me, like I immediately saw like, oh, Q's always out. And I immediately thought Q was like not gonna be it.
Well,
But
Q's
I don't know.
always yeah.
I just didn't work it out. I just think like I don't know.
You
I
have to
think I
work it
could do
out.
it
You
in my
have to.
head.
You have to
Yeah.
work it out. You can't. It's a game where you can do some stuff in your head, like as far as like, okay, I know we're looking for ones where only one is in, but it's something I've tried many times to just do it in my head. It does not work. Diagramming is. I thought I was smarter than the test, and it is not true. You have to diagram it out and improve your score 10 times.
Mhm.
So, But yeah, do you see how I get there quickly though? If I see, okay, I know I'm trying to have the case where I can eliminate those two because I know if L is in, something else has to be in. I can eliminate J is in, something else to be in. Well, I know if I'm looking for something where if I know Q is out, then I know P has to be in. So those are only two options, right? So,
Yeah.
Thomas, do you have questions about this one? I know it's kind of your first rodeo, so it's a little.
I'll be honest, I didn't follow your reasoning exactly, but it's okay. I just have no experience in this kind of question. So I'm picking up what I can. I don't want to slow.
Let's go one more time. We can do it. We have time if you want me to. Okay.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
No problem. So in this question, I don't know if you have it on your phone. They're asking which one of the following representatives could be the only representative who presents. So what we're doing here, right? We're looking for options. Oh, down here, right? Here actually. We're looking for options where there's only one person in this side, in this inside, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if we're looking for one where there's only one person that's inside, we can immediately eliminate F because we know if F is in, right, according to rule 1, then M and P also have to be in, right?
Oh, yes.
So it can't be that one where it's the only representative over there, right? So F's out. Let's move on to, let's do J next. Let's do C next, L, where it's kind of the next one, right? So now I'm trying to have L be the only one over here, right? Well, I know that's not possible because L has to have both J or S in it too, right? If it presents. Because of rule 4. So I can eliminate L then, right? So that immediately eliminates L and J, right?
Right.
So I mean it's A and C. So now let's move on to B and try to put B as the only option here, right? So if B is the only option here, we then know every other person has to be out here, right? So I know if J is in, Q is out, right? According to rule 2.
Right.
Now I'm looking back at the rules and saying if Q is out, P has to be in.
Right. So if Q is in, P has to be out.
Not necessarily, no, actually.
Okay.
If Q is in, P could also be in, right?
Oh, I don't know. I forget the word for it. When you flip the arrow in the causative statement and you flip like the not and is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I honestly never used them because it's something that kind of always got jumbled in my mind, and I just kind of did it like diagrammatically, right?
Mhm.
So if I know Q is out, P is in, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that if P is in, Q is out. Well, actually it does. No, it always means that if P is in, Q is out, right? Does it? No, it doesn't. Sorry, I'm getting my head. That's why I don't do that kind of. But so if I know Q is out, I know for sure P is in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Q could be in, and P could also be in, right?
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Because it doesn't really break that rule.
Gotcha.
Because really, the rule is only applying if Q is out. So
Okay.
that's why we know that J can't be in, can't be the only one, because then Q would be out and P would have to be in, right?
Okay. Okay.
Is this where I'm losing you right here?
Yeah, that step, I'm not so sure about that one.
So we're looking for an option where there's only one variable here in the inside, right? That's what we're looking for.
Yes.
So that means every other variable, all 6 other things would have to work on this side.
Yes.
So that means Q would have to be over here, right?
Right.
But if Q is out, then P has to be in. So it violates this rule. It doesn't work, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I got it now. I'm looking at the rule.
No need to apologize. I get it. So you see now how the only 2 options could be Q or P, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we have S here, that implies that Q is out. that then means P also has to be in. But that doesn't work once again. Because that makes it to where it's one more, right?
Oh, okay. Why is it that sorry, this is my first problem of this kind. Why is
No,
it
don't worry. You're
why
good.
is it that when S is in, Q is out?
Because of what this game is, what this question is asking us. It's asking us for a situation where the only variable on this inside is that one variable. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I'm not sure why when S is in, Q is out.
It doesn't necessarily mean that. It's just in this case,
Okay.
for this to work, Q would have to be out. Does that make like this? Like if the question didn't imply that, there's no rules tying those two together. It's just because this
Oh.
question STEM. I can have that
Okay.
confusing. So if I know S is out, S is the only one that's in. I know that I have to have Q, M, P, all those on this side for it to work, right?
Gotcha. And the problem with Q is that it makes P and J go in.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make J go in, it just makes P go in.
Oh, okay. I guess. Oh, okay.
It's like the other one where just because J is out doesn't mean Q has to be out. Q be in. Like that makes sense.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you.
So for logic games, it's a little different than logical reasoning as far as like because J is in, Q is out. It doesn't necessarily mean because Q is out, J has to be in. J could also be out. So I look at
Gotcha.
it that way. There are some questions where it's like that, but yeah. Do you get this game now a little better now? Like as far as like
Yes, that made a lot of sense. Thank you.
no problem. No, for sure. We don't need to rush here. We can go slow and go at your own pace. It's no worries. All right. Can we move on then? Does that work?
Absolutely.
All right, let's share. I'll stop the share. Share the other one. We'll go from there. Describe how you got there, or do you want me to do it?
Well,
go ahead.
what I did, I'm sorry. Well, I just worked them out. I put F, I just went through A and it worked. I went through B and I noticed that, so if J's in, P is out, but if in that case, I mean, Q is also out because J's in, but the rule number 3 says if Q is out, then P should be in. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
basically.
make sense.
Yeah, kind of like we talked about last time, right? In the last question where J being in forces Q out, Q being out forces P in. But this one says Johnson presents but P doesn't, right? And that doesn't work. So yeah. Any questions about any of the answer choices or what you guys did?
No.
I'm also okay. Thank you.
Okay. Is this how are you doing, Thomas? Is it going well? You feel a little better now?
Yes, I think I'm starting to understand the process a little.
Okay, that's good. All right, let's go to the next one then. I'll stop sharing. I'll share the screen.
I don't remember the letter choices now, but I said that L couldn't be the one.
Yep, I know we lost in the cell. Oh well, but all right, yeah, for sure. No, you guys are both right. So let's kind of go over this one, right? So if I know L is in, right? I know either S or J have to be in, right?
Yes.
And because I know that it has to be paired with one of those two, right? I then know the only option is for it to be paired with one of those two, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means Q would have to be out, right? Especially in the J one, I know Q has to be out because J is in, right?
Yeah.
But if Q is out, then P has to be in.
Yes.
And same thing in both cases, right? We've been looking at the same rule for the past 3 questions. So I think you guys kind of understand that now, right? How it works.
Yeah. At first I was gonna try to go like when I really thought it was A, but I was like, okay, I look too simple. And I was gonna go like from E all the way back to A, but no, I just stick with A.
My biggest piece of advice too, one of my biggest pieces of advice is as far as like when it comes to checking your work, if you're confident in an answer and you're doing good in accuracy and you're a very accurate scorer, go with the answer, circle it and go with the answer and just move on. This is the only exam in the world where you shouldn't check your answers if you don't like because you won't have time. Basically, don't check every because it's kind of like math, where if you know the answer's right, if you double check at the end, there's no way to like backwards engineer it. There is, but like an answer is for sure right. There's not gonna be a better answer later on. So once you find the right answer, it is the right answer. You can move on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know it's very backwards thing as far as test taking strategies go, but I think it's kind of held true for me. So I know, right, if F is in, then M and P also have to be in, right?
Yes.
So that means in every, can you guys see my screen now? Let's see. Sorry. If F is in, right, I know M and P have to be in. So I know if F is presenting, then all three have to be in no matter what, right?
Mhm.
And so let's kind of go through the rest of them, right? Just to kind of, because we have a couple minutes here, but I don't want to start a new game because it might take a little long. So let's go through the last couple answers, get a better understanding of the rules. So this one's asking if F is M, then at least 4 have to be in. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to have a case where there's only 3 people out here, right? Let's go. So J's out, doesn't really, there's no rules about J being out, right? L is out, there's no rules about L being out. Q is out, PS be in, but P's already in, right? And S being out doesn't really have any rules tied to it too. So this one works, we can eliminate B, right? So yeah, you guys both have the correct answer, so that's good. So does that one make sense? Why it's this one and not the 4 people one, right? Is that how you guys did it?
Well, I kind of just worked out. I went by the rule. I put F in, M, P, and then I just kind of just went down the rules on what could be possible.
Thomas, how
I
did you
didn't.
do it? Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say
Oh.
like, I didn't look at the rest of them after that.
Fair.
I also input F and got F, M, and P, but I didn't double check to see that I could get I guess a selection with only those. So in the future I will double check that.
Yeah, as far as, so I know the double checking rule was interesting, but I mean, like, as far as what it comes down to here is, right, I know FMP for sure have to be in together, right? If F is in, right? So I know there always has to be at least 3. So I guess actually at most 4. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I did B wrong. As far as at most 4 are present, right? So I would try to find a scenario where there's more than 4 present, right? Which does also work. Right?
Right. I actually looked at that too.
Yeah, you're right. That was my bad. I thought I said least. So no, because that wouldn't make any sense because then they'd both be right. So I would say you can immediately eliminate that. But yeah. So I would double check the other ones if you have time, obviously. But if not, so FMP, right? I know all the time has to have at least 3. So that's my answer there. Do you have any other questions about this question?
I think I understood this one.
That's good, for sure. I think, oh, excuse me. But if you have, I think the questions do get harder as the game goes along, right? That's kind of how they do it. But also, you also have a better understanding of the game, so you learn more tricks. And really, logic games are a thing where it comes down to just practice, practice, practice. Thomas, when are you planning on taking the LSAT? If you don't mind me asking.
At least late this spring. I mean, at the earliest, late this spring. At the latest, early this fall.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, I did because I took mine last year. I'm going to law school next year. So I'm doing it. So I did March and June as my things, as my 2.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of, I think that's a good strategy. I think giving yourself enough time doing later and going from there. So I think like the or even like an April, July, perfect timing as far as law school goes. So I'd say right now, because you're kind of still in the earlier stages, I do a couple games every day. I just do them for accuracy. Right now, every game type, after you get after you get the easy ordering, then introduce grouping, then do combo, and then just do a few every day till you get them all accurate and get them all right, and then start timing. Start the timer at like 12 minutes, finish it, 11 minutes next time, 10, go down from there. That's kind of how I approach games, and it led me to do really well on them. So
Amazing. Thank you.
No
I'll write
problem, no
this down.
no problem. It's a slow and steady approach with games. I really think it is. So, Sabrina, do you have any questions?
Oh, no, not at the moment.
For sure, yeah. So I think just as far as tips go, I like to do I do a little bit of different diagrams too for other game types, right? So I don't know if you see the ordering types, Thomas, where a lot of I think they teach like a lot of them goes like you have 1, 2, let's say there's 5 spots, right?
I've done some ordering practice, so I've done diagrams like that.
But do they do it like this?
Yeah.
See, you know what I do? So I don't know if Sabrina likes the method, but I do columns instead.
Oh, really?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that way I can go down instead of having to draw the lines on each one, drawing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 each time. It saves me time. So I go like, let's say A, B, C, D, right? Let me see if I can pull one up actually real quick. Go through all my games. There's a lot here, so let's see if I can pull one where it's just a straight ordering. Last week it was a combo, but just to showcase the last kind of tip I have in general. If you want to try it, no rush, but I think it kind of helps me also make all those deductions pretty easily. My whiteboard will load. But really, I think having those columns, no, it's actually not it. Grouping. Let me see. Or this one, why not? But yeah, so having those columns really help me. And then I can just work down. Like, okay, this is number 17, down. So I don't draw all these. I do one giant diagram and just keep going down from there. It keeps me really organized and in tune with everything. And I think we might do an ordering game next week. If not, I can also save time at the end to kind of show you. So if you want to come back next week.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'll probably know what I'm doing a little more for the ordering since I've practiced that a bit.
Yeah, sounds good. It's no problem. I said I'm here to help. I know the first few times be daunting for any game type. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is being terrible today, but any questions for you guys at all about games? Anything else?
Nothing
No,
else.
Okay. Well, I know Clint and Rachel have a study session after this, I'm pretty sure. So if you guys want to stay around for that, you can. They're good resources as far as asking questions. If you have any more, if you have another grouping game you want to do, I'm sure they're willing to help you or stuff like that. So feel free to stay. I don't know why my whiteboard's being down, but okay. Yes, thank you guys for coming. Have a good one.